A lot of people online have been asking questions about the Elac Argo that is designed by Andrew Jones. I had the opportunity to listen to it at CanJam and RMAF this year in Denver, Colorado. Asking Andrew Jones questions about it, he said the F3 point, which is where it becomes 3 decibels below flat, is around 40 hertz with the bass, and that it extends well past 20 kilohertz with the treble. I had a few times where I listened to it. The second time I was able to play a Jurassic Park theme song, and the trumpets weren't too bright, which is a test that I often use for some speakers that I built at home, the Swan M3, which can be built as a DIY kit, the HiVi 3.1. It's a 3-way with a ribbon tweeter. In any case, the speakers that I've built are far surpassed by the Elac Argo, even though it's smaller, and the Elac Argo has a 5 1/4 inch woofer, and the HiVi 3.1 has a 6 1/2 inch woofer. The Elac Argo seems like it has plenty of bass. The bookshelves that I built, they have enough bass, but the Argo, I would say, sounds like a floor-standing speaker to me. Other than that, it is all analog except for the wireless connection that I believe has already been mentioned elsewhere online. But anyway, a lot of people are wondering when it comes out. It should be here mid-November. A couple of places have said late November. It is available on the dealer portal. If you know of a dealer, they should be able to order it from Elac. I believe it's coming in on a ship in California, and then they can ship it either to their shop, or in my case, I was able to connect with Neal at soundsciencecat.com. That's his email address. And he was able to set it up where it would ship directly to me. So hopefully by mid-November there will be a better review of these. Just from preliminary listening, I would say this is my favorite speaker of Rocky Mountain Audio Fest. Like I said, testing it with that Jurassic Park theme song, it wasn't too bright. It wasn't very directional either. They were on stands that were, I would say, 1.5 feet below ear level, and it still sounded absolutely incredible. I leaned forward and kind of hunched forward so that I could be in line with them as if I were doing near field. Still sounded great, almost identical, I would say, with the coaxial or concentric or coincident driver, however you want to call it. Technically it's not just coaxial because it is perfectly time aligned. It's not like a car speaker where the tweeter is closer to you than the woofer. But on that same Jurassic Park song that I keep referring to, if you listen to your speakers, there are 3 things that I would listen for. In the first part of it, it's going to be pretty quiet, then it's going to build up, and there will be some really pleasant bass. My speakers that I've built have enough bass where I don't hate them. The Elac Argo has plenty of bass. It sounds very full. Like I said, it sounds like a floor-standing speaker to me. When I first heard it, I was amazed because it's physically smaller, and the drivers are smaller in every way than my 3-way bookshelf speaker system. The next thing to listen for besides the bass is the trumpets. As I mentioned, that's about 3 minutes into the song. There's a quiet part and then the trumpets come in. They sound a bit too peaky on my HiVi 3.1 system that has a ribbon tweeter. They do not sound peaky, but they also do not sound super muted on the Elac Argo. And the last thing to listen for is there are triangles in that song, and those triangles should sound very, very bright and almost sharp. On tinny headphones, it does not sound good. It's too bright, it's too much, because at that point in the song, those triangles are really emphasized. But again, on the Elac Argo, those were not so bright that they were piercing, but it was bright enough that I could tell that that speaker certainly did not sound muted from where I was listening. Full disclosure, looking at the back of the speakers, both of them had the bass boosted by +1 decibel, so there is a +1 decibel, and it might be -2 or -3 decibel switch on the back that was set to +1, and it was in a smaller hotel room, and they had it hooked up to their amplifier. But other than that, there was no subwoofer in the room. I know a lot of times when people say, "Oh, I was surprised that there was not a subwoofer in the room. I swear there was." That's just a good speaker. A good speaker can put out some bass frequencies and not struggle a whole lot. However, for people who have heard many good speakers, I don't think that it's valid to give a speaker credit and say, oh, I thought there was a sub in the room. No, it's just a little bit of good bass. The Elac Argo is the only time I have truly felt that there had to be a subwoofer somewhere because it was plenty of bass. It wasn't just, oh, that's nice, it can do a little bit of deep bass, because most half-decent speakers can. Mine can. They can play in the Dark Knight Rises soundtrack, Why So Serious? If you go to about, it's either 2 minutes and 20 seconds or 3 minutes and 20 seconds and wait for it, there is an incredibly deep, throbbing tone that makes most speakers go silent. My speakers can play that. It's not plenty of bass, it's just enough. So I can hear it, it's audible, but it's not satisfying, it's not as much as it should be. The Elac Argo does that. Price-wise, for anyone who doesn't know that already, they're going to be $200. Not sure if dealers are charging shipping. I was listening to them on some stands that were, like I said, a little bit too low. The stands that Elac sells for them are $400. And yeah, they were my favorite speaker at Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, well, that I could reasonably buy. So hopefully they are out soon, hopefully everyone can find them, and I really hope that they publish the specs and see some anechoic chamber measurements. I plan on setting them up with some higher stands for near-field listening, running them off of a MiniDSP, and probably a Chromecast with optical audio output, so I can get that last little bit of flattening from the DSP for frequency correction and phase response correction, and then the Chromecast is obviously super convenient, and it can do bit perfect through its optical outputs. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Sorry that I don't have the speakers yet, but when I do, I will try to publish a review as quickly as I can, and then another one after I've had some time with them. Thanks for watching. Bye.